Good evening, everybody. Um, I got permission to talk about this, and I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat brief. What I wanted to share about it. I have a friend who is certified in the medical industry as a pathologist. Um, I don't know exactly how old he is. Just maybe late 50s. Um, and he had he's ordinarily a very healthy person, athletic, a cyclist, active lifestyle, um, and I think it was he had gotten COVID at one point, and then later they came out with the vaccines, and and in order for him to continue practicing, he got the shot, and he got one booster. And after he got the booster, he began to develop symptoms of neuropathy, and I don't know the full scale of how that affects him, but the things that I was able to, that were some of the most obvious and notable things, was on the bottoms of his feet. It has kind of like a waxing and waning feeling of like pins and needles, and it's painful. It's painful for him to walk. It's painful just being, and so it's uh, yeah. And this is something that he's not been able to get any help or treatment for, or nothing has been effective. He has tried a lot of things. Um, that I would need him present to be able to discuss his details, so I don't have him. Um, but I he felt called to work with kambo, and he actually had a what is it called? I don't know, not electrocardiogram, some kind of a heart scan, and came back, everything was good. He had no contraindications. Um, so we went ahead, and I offered him a layered treatment for his first treatment, and after I laid 2 points of medicine, I like a couple of minutes had passed, maybe like no more than like 3 minutes or so, and I was kind of like up with his, more like closer at eye level. He was sitting in a couch, with his legs down on the floor, barefoot, and I noticed the bottoms of his feet turn like black, purple, very dark, and I was concerned immediately. And I came down and I knelt in front of him, and I had him put his feet up on my knees to elevate them a little bit. And honestly, I was praying and just tapping into what was happening. I asked him to give me some feedback on what he was feeling in his whole body, but mainly what was going on in his feet. And he was paying attention. I can't remember. He didn't say, there was no pain. There was no sense. Like I would have responded differently if he would have been in any kind of pain. And so we just kind of like took a moment. His feet were elevated about 8 inches, up, so not down. And just like in the time that I was like focusing on his feet, I watched him go a bit darker, and him and I just kind of both, what was going through my head was I felt strongly that I could trust this process, as long as he was not showing any signs of just like distress beyond what I expect him to feel. So his feet were like, they went almost all the way to black, and then I watched him kind of like come back a little bit, become purple. It looks like a corpse. Come back to purple, and then it kind of came into magenta, and then it was red, and then it was pink, and then it was like the normal color of the bottoms of feet. So in his next ceremony, we expected that there may be some sort of reaction, and I was able to. I was observing him, but I placed myself at his feet, and he was on an elevated surface. He was comfortable, and he nested on an elevated surface, which was perfect, which allowed me to observe what was happening. And I watched the same thing happen again, but the color was not as deep. He stepped it up in his dosage, and I actually continued to add more and more. He is having a positive effect in the rest of his response. But I watched the color kind of like crawl up the sides of his feet and then go back down when they changed color. And I saw them do it a couple times. And when I described that to him later, he said, "Yeah, that's how it's been feeling." It was just so crazy to be able to see something like that. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen, these invisible ailments, but from what it sounds like, and he's choosing to continue with this medicine because it's having a positive effect. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, and in addition to that, this is a person, who's like highly knowledgeable, in the medical field, being a medical professional, and I'm looking forward to collecting information, if possible, in a valid and legit way, and be able to see what kinds of effects that kambo can have on people who are who've been compromised. So, yep, sending love. Have a good night.